Hey everyone, Doug Bender from DyeStat.com. We're getting ready for Nike Cross Nationals week, and it's a big one coming up. The 20th edition of Nike Cross Nationals coming to Glendoveer Golf Course, which will be followed by the USATF Cross Country Championships at Glendoveer Golf Course. I've got Nicole Freitag with me. Nicole Blood, we all know her as Nicole Blood back in the days, was part of the first national championship team for Saratoga Springs. Of course, they were known as Kinetic when they got into the postseason. Nicole was third in the 2004 Nike Team Nationals, and obviously, became someone that was very familiar in college cross country and track and field at the University of Oregon, coached at Columbia, Virginia. I'm not sure if I'm missing any of the others, but Nicole, what are you doing these days?
So after my coaching stint at Virginia with Vin for 3 years, I came back to Portland. My husband and I have two sons, and I got back into the marketing world. So I work for a marketing agency that services a ton of the top sportswear brands in the world. So I'm very much still in the industry, a lot of running stuff, but also a lot of stuff on the other sports sides as well. Yeah.
Nice. I want to take you back to 2004 a little bit and see what you can remember about some of those flashpoints. I went to the first Nike Team Nationals in 2004 out at Portland Meadows, and I recall the hype that was sort of surrounding you and your team, sort of like high school rock stars of running at that time. And it reminds me a little bit of that team in 2004 of yours. It almost reminds me of the Newbury Park boys that came through recently a few years ago that were all called like the greatest team of all time. Your team was called the greatest of all time in 2004, and yet this event, Nike Team Nationals, was really the first way to prove it to everybody because nothing ever existed like this before. Nicole, what do you remember about the 16, 17-year-old kid version of you and the other kids on your team?
Oh man, what a cool. I mean, up until that point, we had the Harrier magazine that just ranked you every year, and I remember the last couple of years we had leading up to, it was NTN, the first couple of years. I think it was like the Los Alamos girls from Texas that were like starting to get ranked above us. And we were just itching for that moment to really prove ourselves, just not going off of rankings. And Nike provided that opportunity for us, to travel out west, be treated like queens, get a ton of gear, but really ultimately just go out and prove that, we were number one. So that opportunity was absolutely incredible. The opportunity to go out and like meet elite athletes, and really vibe with them and like learn that they were just people just like us. The whole experience was absolutely incredible. And then we went out there and we were gritty. I mean, it was not great weather. It was classic Portland, December, rainy, muddy, everything that we love. And we just dug deep, and I mean, hearing you say third, I like cringed a little bit because I'm like, I got third in that, in that race. Because I just remember that being one of the proudest races of my life because our team finally got to like give that stamp of approval of like, we are number one. And that was such a cool moment for us.
Yeah. You mentioned the Harrier magazine. It looks like Saratoga was ranked number one 11 of the 13 years out of 13 years leading up to 2004. Like it had been going on since the 80s. Mark Bloom ranking Saratoga number one. What can you remember about what do you think were the reasons why it seemed like the Cranics, Art and Linda Kranick, were the coaches of that team for so long? They just, they stepped down last spring, and obviously we saddened by the recent news that Art passed away just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Art in a minute, but what was the culture like at Saratoga? Why was it like they were playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers?
Yeah. I mean, they were ahead of their time, honestly. Like, You look at the way high schoolers are training today, and it's intense. Kids are running 6 to 7 days a week. They have knowledge at their fingertips, what to eat, how to recover, what paces to run on your recovery days, how many intervals to run. All of that information is here with us now. We didn't have that back then, but the Cranics knew it, and we trained hard, and we got criticized for it, for sure. But I think that's just again, they were ahead of their time. We weren't doing anything crazy, especially when you look at what people are doing today. But not many others were doing it yet. Mm-hmm. And so we were just out there working hard, and Mr. and Mrs. Kranick just knew how to teach kids to run fearless. And we trained hard, we raced hard, and we had a lot of pride that we were running with. It didn't matter if it was a dual meet or a national championship meet. We ran the same exact way.
Yeah. So 2004 was your junior year, and you got your teammates, some of your really good teammates, Hannah Davidson, Lindsay Ferguson, Caitlin Lane. The four of you all went to Foot Locker Northeast the week before you came to Portland, and all four of you qualified in the top 8 of the Foot Locker Northeast Regional at Van Cortlandt Park. That alone created such a buzz around your group. By the time you got to Portland, it was like people were using the term Fab Four, right? For you guys. Remember that? How crazy was that?
It was crazy. I mean, we were so young too. We were eating it up, but honestly, we were having so much fun. We were pushing each other in workouts, but at the same time, we were just kids having fun. We knew we were good, so we carried that confidence with us, whether it was training and pushing ourselves to the limit or racing. We had that kind of edge because we just knew we were good and we could rely on each other to keep pushing ourselves. At that time, programs were lucky to have 2 good people. That was rare. So a lot of these studs were running by themselves, and we had 4 girls who were working out, running every day together, pushing each other. Mm-hmm. And so really we had the advantage. We just had the talent there, and we were having fun with it. So it was just such a great time.
So do you look back on that and think, boy, that was really a convergence of stars that align like that at one time? Or was that just a product of the system at Saratoga that, you find the kids in the hallway that are maybe at, Saratoga, you get them in the 7th and the 8th grade too. You can start building those girls up, and then you just turn the material that you've got into stars. How did that work with the 4 of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a mix of both. I think it was definitely a year of talent. We had a lot of talent, and that helps. But certainly the program that the Cranics had and the way that they nurtured kids from the very beginning, a lot of times when you're young and you're coming in, you're giving excuses, you're putting them in slower groups, you're kind of just babying them, and the Cranics just let you go. If you wanted to go in a faster group, you go in a faster group. It's not like they pushed you in that, but they left the door open. You chose where you want to be. And our group was fun in the front. We were having a blast. So people at Saratoga on that team, they wanted to run with the front pack because we were having so much fun. Mm. And that's what it was. I think at that point, our culture was so great up front that all those girls wanted to work hard just so that they could be up there having the most fun. It wasn't just about how fast we were running, but we were just having such a great time.
One of the things that I think nobody knew when Nike Team Nationals started was which state is going to really show everybody that they're the one, because it was all discussion and stuff on the message board about, Texas is the best state. No, California, New York. New York showed up at Nike Team Nationals, and from the very start, and for about 10 years in a row, when you consider all what Fayetteville Manlius did, showed that New York girls cross country was that was a dominant state for it. It's, it may not be that way exactly right now. Colorado and some of the high altitude places are really stepping up. and sort of having a bit of an era. But why was New York so good? I mean, the number of girls that would go off to win Foot Locker, the team thing, like it just seemed like for a while that New York was untouchable.
Yeah, I know. We had a good run. I mean, the elements in New York from late October to early December, which is, when your season goes, they were tough. Like Mr. Kranick was out there plowing parking lots, so that we could do 800-meter repeats, like on a super cold, like 20 degrees, like snow on the ground day. And so you really had to want to be there and like make something of that day if you were going to put yourself out in those elements. So I think that was just it. You just had super dedicated groups of people who were out there making the most of every moment, every interval. And so New York was like, we could handle all conditions. I mean, honestly, San Diego was the toughest one in Foot Locker because we weren't used to perfect conditions.
Yeah.
But bring us out to Portland, pouring rain, mud, like we ate that up because we've been training in adverse weather for 2 months straight.
Yeah.
Like I remember having a bloody nose frozen to my face, but I like refused to cut the workout. I felt really badass and it like made me feel really cool.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff we were going through, like Mrs. Kranick was handing out like heat pads for our hands and the rest of the schools on a snow day. And we were out there getting our workout in because we were just so proud of what we were a part of.
Mm-hmm. What were your summers like preparing for cross country season? How hard did you work in the summer?
Yeah, so we kept it, light as far as, it's funny. So they were like club practices. So anyone from like 6 years old, like I remember my young brothers were joining these practices up to like older, people in their 50s and 60s. So it was like it was a community event. And it was 6 days a week. People would show up at the park in Saratoga, and the Cranicks would split us up into groups, and we'd get some longer stuff in. We'd do some hills, but it kind of felt cool because it was more of a community event, and you almost felt like you were on the stage a little bit because sometimes people even came to watch you. So that attention was kind of fun too, but it was a different type of atmosphere from when we were in season, which I think was kind of kept it healthy. Because it really did feel very community-based, although we were working very hard. We were putting in our base work. We even started some doubles, in the month of August to really prep for cross-country season. But it was a different vibe. It was definitely more chill. It was with friends. It was with family. They were all there running together, even though our intensity was a bit higher than the rest of those groups. But it was really fun entering the season. So by the time the competition season started in September, it felt like the next chapter.
Yeah. And you were always number one. Like, what did that feel like to walk around school going, yeah, we're number one, like in the country?
Yeah.
That's us, that we just do that. Like,
yeah.
It must have been kind of like, I don't know if it even felt like pressure to you guys. You're just like, well, that's who we are. Why would we be anything but number one?
And this probably came from the Cranicks, but it felt very normal. Like I didn't walk around thinking like, oh, we're number one. It was what it was. And that might sound cocky, but like that's the bar that was set. Like that's how practices were set. That's the program you signed up for. Like you train like a champion. And you just showed up and you were that champion every single day. It's not something you had to brag about. It's just something that you were and something that you embodied every day.
Yeah. The first time you came out to Portland Meadows to go see the course, of course, it was all brand new, and they're trying to figure some things out on the fly. But I believe it was the first meet where they could actually show the team scores at every K to like on a screen, and everyone could follow along like that. And you could watch from inside and look out the windows and watch the whole thing. But the whoop-de-doo hills and all those little features. Like, what did you guys think of those?
Yeah, it definitely felt a little bit like an obstacle course. I'm pretty sure there's video of me wiping out and dropping an F-bomb on the first whoop-de-whoop loop. So, yeah, but like, it's funny with the Cranicks, like, So in that kind of environment, if you're super focused on who you're competing against and like the strategy of your race, like that might be super helpful if people are paying attention throughout the race. For me, from what I remember with the Cranics, it was never who you were competing against. Like the race strategy, it was just always so simple. It was like, get out as hard as you can to get a good position. Keep running as hard as you can and make sure you finish strong. Like it was very simple. So a lot of like the bells and whistles to NXN, tracking the race, like tracking your pace, that didn't resonate with me personally. I don't know if it did with other girls. I don't think it did with our team. Honestly, I was more focused on the course itself, like the whoop-de-whoops, like the fact that we're doing a couple laps. In my head, I was like, this is a sick obstacle course. It's going to be muddy. We're going to like love this and crush it.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it was for us. And I think that's why we were able to just keep it simple and fun.
Yeah. And I mean, you get off the starting line and maybe like 200 meters into it, it's like, oh, there's Hannah, there's Lindsay, there's Caitlin. We're good. Like, let's just do this, right?
Totally. Yeah. It's nice to have your girls right with you. That gives you a sense of confidence too, and just like holds you accountable. Like you're where you've got to be, your teammates are where you got to be or where they have to be, and you got to keep doing your job basically through the finish line.
Yeah. It's not really like this anymore. Not to have all the individuals that come in, but let's just to remind people, like the first NTN, Saratoga went 3, 6, 7, 12, and then 23rd was your fifth girl. So we don't see scores like that anymore. And 51 points was the winning total that day. And all the kind of the story afterward was, okay, well that wasn't just a victory, that was coronation. That the queens of high school cross country have finally been crowned, and that's Saratoga. What does that mean to you now?
I mean, I'll carry that with me forever, honestly. I mean, individual championships are one thing. You can own them from start to finish, the decisions you made, like how hard you push yourself. It's an individual performance. The team, you have to rely on 7 people. I'm not even going to say 5. You rely on 7 people to show up. And cross country's tough. We all know it. Like the conditions are never perfect. And those races are stressful. You can get swallowed up. You've got to hold your own. And really the race doesn't start until like the last 2K where you're just gutting it out for your team. And that's an experience that you really can't, unless you live that experience, you can't like describe it to anyone else. And so I'll never forget that because I remember personally, that wasn't a great day for me. We were coming off Foot Locker. It was a long season. Yeah. I felt like crap, but we knew that we had something to prove that day. And I was fighting for my life to get the lowest score I possibly could. And I knew that my teammates behind me were doing the same exact thing. Yeah. And that kind of accountability only comes in cross country, in a sport like cross country where literally the place that you finish can make or break your team.
Yeah. We should mention Ramsey Cavan from South Dakota did win that first day.
He did.
I think Bree Fellnagel was second.
He did, yeah.
And then you were third.
Yeah.
The week following, you guys spent all week on the West Coast and then went down to San Diego. That probably wasn't the fondest of memories because you guys didn't run amazing in San Diego, but you had to be tired by then, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, New York's tough because New York, you have, we had Suburban Council, then you have conference champions. Yeah. Section, and then state qualifier, state is very competitive. You've got the top kids in the country. Then you have Foot Locker regional championship.
We've got Feds.
Shoot, right? Doug. Yeah, we have
New York Feds, and then Feds. Yeah.
Feds, and yeah, I mean, I can't even. I just and I ran all out at dual meets, so like. You get to December and you're just exhausted. And I wouldn't do it any other way because that's the way I ran best, was just not thinking of like, I'm not going to save in the tank. And it was just in high school, like just go out and run. So, but man, you get to December and all the travel, and we were exhausted. We were having fun. We met new friends. Like the experience itself was,
Yeah.
it's like amazing. You can't replace that. But the races, like, yeah, they definitely weren't our best races. And look, like as a kid in that moment, I was so hard on myself. But looking back, you're like, of course that happened.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Before I let you go, let's reflect, if we can, just for a moment on Mr. Kranick.
Yeah.
Art died, I think it was the morning of the section meet.
Yeah.
And how would you put him in perspective, what he meant to not only Saratoga, but just to high school cross country?
I mean, the things he instilled in us, running fearlessly, confidently, the accountability that you have for your teammates, like that's stuff that sticks with you for the rest of your life. You know, I started with Mr. Cranick when I was 11 years old. And, you know, I was going into 7th grade, and he already knew, he saw the talent in me early. He'd see how disappointed I'd be in races that I shouldn't have been disappointed. I was 11 or 12 years old, finishing like 11th at nationals, but my mind was I finished 11th in a race. And Mr. Kranick, like, he never made excuses for you. He wasn't going to sit down and talk to me about like, well, you're only 11, so it's fine. He was just like, hey, we're going to get better. You know, we're going to get better. And so he just really, he helped people set a bar for themselves that allowed them to like seek greatness and not have any glass ceilings. And I know that all of the lives he's touched, it's stuck with them for a lifetime. And he's made an incredible impact on a lot of people, men and women that he's coached. I will forever appreciate him for teaching me how to run fearless and be a fearless woman in general. He was like a second father to me for a really long time. So I appreciate him, Mrs. Kranick, the program that they created, just absolutely incredible, the lives that they've touched. And it's a sad day. We'll definitely miss him. The alumni is really going to miss him. And I think the whole running community, he really set the bar for high school running years back before we really understood what they were doing.
So well said, Nicole. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Doug.